Apologies for the late start. Actually, the game started earlier. It's supposed to be a 8:15 game, and they started must have started at around 8 o'clock, so I missed the beginning of the game, so apologies for that, but we're now in business, I believe. Still no score here halfway through this first period. Storm have done a pretty good job of keeping the puck in their offensive zone so far, but no scoring just yet. So this is the first game of the Raider Showdown. Northfield is the host association here. And this is a 3-day tournament, so we'll conclude on Sunday. Storm will play 4 games in total. 1 tonight, 2 tomorrow, and 1 on Sunday. There's a shot by Will Marsh that is knocked down by the Raider goalie. This one knocked all the way down. That should be an icing call. Yes, it is. So we will come back down for an offensive zone face-off for the Storm. Here's Will Marsh on the face-off. Will wins the face-off back to Jackson Gaston. Jackson back in the lineup tonight after a lengthy absence due to illness. Here is Colin Moose, who brings it down deep, but now thrown in by Griffin. Kept in by Jackson. He throws it into the corner over to Colin Moose. Colin back out to Griffin. Griffin sends it back down. Here's a centered pass, comes out to Colin Moose. Colin fires one right on net. Back come the Raiders. Loose puck picked up by Jackson Gaston. Centering pass comes to Colin Moose, and he's going to skate it up. He leaves it, but right to Northfield, and they're going to just fire it down as they're in a line change. This one's kicked in by George Lego. Now it pops out of the zone and all the way down. Colin picks this one off. Now Storm have got an opportunity here, and Colin loses the handle on that one. There's Archie with it. This one comes through George Lego. George skates it all the way in, takes a shot, and that one is loose and covered by the Northfield goalie. Shots are 6-0 in favor of the Storm. As I said, they've been able to keep it in their offensive zone. Got a number of shots on goal, but no scoring yet. 5:07 left in this opening period. Here's the face-off. Beck shovels this one back down. Otto's over there. Now shot by Beck. Kept in the zone. Now this one comes out to Ben Story. Ben shovels it ahead in the slot, but Beck again. Now Beck comes in, takes a shot, and that one goes in. There's a goal by Beck Schepner as he actually fired it. That was actually not going to go in. The goalie reached out and put a glove on it, and it deflected off his glove back into the goal. So had the goalie just let it go. That would not have been a goal, but back, you send it toward the goal and put it near the goal, and good things happen. So Beck rewarded with the goal there, and a 1-0 lead for the Storm. This one comes out to Jackson, but eventually controlled by the Raiders. One back now. Here's Will Marsh. Oh, and Will puts one off of the post. Now back. Here's a shot by Cam. This one squirts toward the net and is covered by the Northfield goalie. So offensive zone face-off again for the Storm with 3:33 left in this opening period. Storm leading 1-0. 1 goal on 10 shots for the Storm. This one gets sent around. Beck keeps it in though. Now it comes out of there. Colin picks up the loose puck. Colin skates it in, leaves it for George. Now George back to Colin. Oh, Colin tried to get it over to Beck, who was sitting there in the slot. Now here's George again. George to Colin, and Colin knocks it in. Nice work between George and Colin as Colin O'Day gets the goal to make it 2-0. Tyson Jung on the face-off. This one kept in the zone by Cam. Cam sends it toward the net, but it's intercepted, and Northfield comes away with it. Loose in the neutral zone. This one's brought in by Otto, but knocked right back out. James sends this across, stole to Cam. That one's intercepted, and here comes Northfield. Outlet comes to Otto. Otto's by himself now as the Stormer in the line change. He throws one toward the net. Will Marsh comes in off the bench, picks up the loose puck. Now he tries to center it out. Comes to Colin Moose. Colin then flips it over to Beck. Beck's going to fire one. That one doesn't get through, but Otto is able to get a stick on it. This one should be it. No icing call, as there was a touch on that one apparently. Now here's Griffin skating out behind the net. He's going to bring it across the neutral zone. He fires one toward the net, but a little off the mark. Now he centers one out there. This should be an icing call here. It is. So Storm 2 goals on 11 shots. Northfield no goals on no shots yet. They have gotten the puck in their offensive zone briefly, but unable to get a shot away so far. Now this one's stepped in by James Meyer. James takes a shot. Here's Jackson along the boards. Northfield wrestles it out of there in the neutral zone. And they chip it in, but they are offsides as it pops back out. 47.6 seconds left here in this opening period. face-off. He whacks that into the zone, and that's going to be an icing. So we'll come back down into the Raider offensive zone and face-off with 41.2 seconds left in this one, or the opening period, I should say. Here's Beck with this one. Beck sends it back around to the other side where Archie is over there to try to pick it up. But Northfield still controls. Now it comes to Archie. George comes over, picks it up. Now back to Archie. Archie fires one. That one is off the goalie. Collin then wins control, sends it back out to the slot, and fired by Beck, a little off the mark. And that will be the end of the first period with the Storm leading 2-0. And it looks like apparently we're going to have a resurface here after the first period. So we'll take a little bit of a break here. Suspect we'll be back in about 12 minutes or so after they are done with the resurface. So put it on pause here and we'll be back in about 12 minutes. Okay, we are finished with the resurface and teams are back on the ice. And we are about ready to get underway here for the second period in this first game of the Raider Showdown for the Mpls Bantam B1 Bla team. This is the third tournament for the Storm thus far this year. They took first place in the Bloomington Winter Classic earlier this year and then took second place in their own Minneapolis Cup over Thanksgiving weekend, and now this tournament here is their third tournament. They have one more tournament coming up later in January, the third weekend in January up in Hibbing, Minnesota. And here's a face-off, Colin O'Day. He wins it back, but all the way back, and James Meyer picks it up behind the net. Loose puck comes to Colin. Colin then kicks it out to George Lego. George brings it across the line. Leaves it for Archie. That's just tipped away though. Now this one comes to Cam. Cam into the circle with it, but out comes Northfield. Now Colin up to Archie. That's off Archie's stick, but he still controls it. He's looking for someone to pass to. Finally reverses it. Now back out to George. George tried to redirect that one in on the shot from James Meyer. Now circling is George. George back out. That one squirts out of the zone, and the Storm will have to retreat. Here's a puck, loose puck picked up by George Lego. George skates it in and fires it, and that is knocked down and covered by Northfield. So we'll have an offensive zone face-off as the Storm get a line change in. Otto Hutchins, Will Marsh, and Ben Score come back in on the front line. Beck Shepner and Griffin O'Melia on D. Here's Will Marsh with it. Will centers it out, but nothing doing, and Northfield finally knocks this one down in. Northfield still without a shot on goal here. This one pops up and out of play as the Northfield player loses a stick. But we will have a Northfield offensive zone face-off here with 13:11 left here in this second period. O'Day on the face-off. He controls it, but eventually knocked back down, and Cam wrestles away. Now here's an outlet to Colin Moose. Colin comes in. He's going to take a shot, and that is covered as Colin was trailing in, looking for the loose puck. O'Day on the face-off. He sends it toward the boards. Kept in by Cam. Now Colin with it. Oh, Colin comes back around, picks it up from behind the boards, and sends it over to Colin Moose. So Colin O'Day to Colin Moose with the goal. Goal for Colin Moose. Assist to Colin O'Day. So that will make it 3-0 now. Beck sends it cross ice over to Griffin. Griffin brings it across the line, sends it in. Picked off by Northfield though. Across the blue line and into the zone they come. Griffin knocks that off of stick. Now it comes to back outlets to Will Marsh. Will skates it ahead, gets around his man. He fires one in. So there's a goal by Will Marsh as he goes unassisted in. Or actually, I think Beck got the assist on that one. Sorry, that was not unassisted. I think Beck will get credit for the assist there. So that'll now make it 4-0. Here's face-off by Tyson Jung. That's knocked into the Northfield zone. Offensive zone. Loose puck comes to Ben Score. Ben skates it across. Sends it over to Tyson. Tyson tries to get it back to Ben, but it's knocked away. Kept in by James Meyer. James sends it into the crease. And Northfield sends this into the zone. Now here it is loose in the circle. Shot from outside, steered away by George T1 Ortiz. Ooh, and there's a blocker saved by George. He was partially screened there, but able to pick it up eventually and put a pad on it. Now here is Otto Hutchins. Otto comes in, fires one. That's a little high. Comes all the way out. Griffin will have to pick it up. Now here's Colin Moose as he maneuvers around. Loose puck picked up by Colin. Colin then comes in. He fires one, but that's sent into the boards by the Northfield goalie. Jackson with it. Jackson sends one toward the net. Jackson bringing it into the zone. He gives it to Colin Moose. Oh, and that was knocked off of Collins. Puck up into the air, comes out of the zone. Now Beck eventually picks the loose puck up, sends it back in. Sent toward the net by Jackson. Loose puck in the zone, picked up by Will Marsh. Will is sent against the boards. And they're going to call a penalty on Northfield for that, I believe. I guess they're going to call roughing on that, I believe. Actually, it looked like a clean hit to me, but perhaps he got too much elbow in there. So Storm will go on the power play here with 9:29 left here in the second period, leading 4-0. This loose puck comes to Camadare. Camadare fires it. He's a little off the mark as it goes into the corner. Now loose puck picked up by Will Marsh. Will fires one. That one goes up into the screen, so we'll have a stoppage of play. Offensive zone face-off for the Storm. Tyson Jung goes and gets his own face-off. Now it's Otto with it. Yeah, it's Ben Score backhands one toward the net, but that's covered by Northfield. We'll have another offensive zone face-off here. Now here's Tyson on the draw. Goes into the corner, picked up by Ben Score briefly. Now to Tyson. Eventually, Northfield is able to wrestle away. They send one toward the net that goes off the side of the net. That's going to be an offsides as Otto left that. Thought he had a trailing skater, but did not. And it came out of the zone, and that makes the Storm offsides. So we'll come back down into the Raider offensive zone for a faceoff. Actually, we had a penalty called on that one. I did not see the call, but it looks like Cam Adair is in the penalty box. So we've got 4-on-4 hockey here now as both teams have a player in the box. Here's an outlet to Colin Moose. Another outlet to Colin. Now to Beck. Beck skates it up. Colin with it. He gets it out to Colin O'Day, Colin Moose, who takes a shot. I'm confused with too many Collins on the ice at the moment. 7 seconds left on the penalty to the Raiders. And in fact, that penalty is now over, so Raiders will now be on the power play for the next 45 seconds here. Yeah, they get this into the zone, but picked up by Griffin. Griffin's going to send it all the way around and down. That should be an icing call, I believe it is. So we'll come back down for an offensive zone face-off for the Raiders here. Raiders finally got some shots on goal, so they now have 4 shots on goal to the Storm's 22. Back with it. Back reverses around. Now he delays behind the net. Squirts out to Will Marsh. Will sends it across to Jackson. Now Jackson tries to maneuver it in there, but just poked off of his stick. Now here's James Meyer with it. He's going to send it into the corner. Now sent around by Northfield. Beck comes over to pick it off the wall. Cleared nicely by James Meyer, and there's a shot at George. George able to knock that one down and cover it. That's another, that should be a shot on goal for Northfield, but I'm not crediting them with one, so they're still showing us 4 shots on goal for Northfield. Loose puck picked up by Archie, and that one squirts out of there, comes all the way down to George, and James Meyer will have to retreat and pick it up. Now comes to Tyson. Tyson sends it across to Archie. Archie picks it off the boards. Skates down to the circle and then reverses. Now loose pick Oh, nice job by George to pick up that loose puck and send it right back out into the crease, and Jackson was able to get a stick on it. But I think that was Jackson, or maybe that was Tyson. Got a stick on it and sent it toward the net. Now, offensive zone face-off. Colin wins it. Ben Scoy brings this in, sends it around. There's a shot on goal, picked up by Otto. Otto gets it past his man, but just a little too far. Picked up by Colin. Colin fires one toward the net. And knocked down and covered by Northfield. 4:17 left here in this second period. 4-0 Storm. Face-off won by Will Marsh. Here's a shot from the outside by Cam Adair. Now back out to Cam. Cam from the point. He shoots another one. That is knocked down. Will Marsh takes his man into the boards. Loose puck picked up by Jackson. Now here's Will with it. This one's sent all the way out. That should be icing. And it is, so we'll stay down here. Shot by James Meyer as he slaps one in. Will trying to pick up the loose puck, but he's pinned against the board. Now it comes to Cam. Cam fires one. That's off of a Northfield player. Kept in by James Meyer. Loose puck to Jackson. Now here's James with a shot. James fires a hard one, but off the mark. Here's Northfield with it. They send it out. Loose puck picked up by Colin O'Day. He's going to skate it out. Gets around his man, comes in, fires one. Goes wide. Picked up by Archie. Archie sends it back around to Collins. Oh, Colin trying to get it across to George. But intercepted now. George fighting for the loose puck here. Now Colin comes over to help. Squirts out of there where Colin picks it up. Oh, and he sends it right back out to Archie. George picks this off the board, sends it out to Griffin. Griffin fires one. That's off of the pad of the Northfield goalie. Collins sends it into the other corner, picked up by Archie. Archie still with it. He sends it toward the net, but intercepted by Northfield. Now still in the zone by the Storm. Storm doing a great job of keeping the offensive zone time here. Now George goes over to retrieve the loose puck. 1:15 left here in this second period. Puck comes to Tyson, now to Ben Score. Ben chips it in and chases. Gets to the puck first, but comes to Northfield. Still kept in the zone by Griffin. Griffin fires one, almost redirected in by Otto. That's going to be icing on Northfield. So with 47.1 seconds left in the second period, we will have an offensive zone faceoff. As the Storm get a fresh set of players in here, Tyson Jung comes in to take the faceoff. He's got Colin Moose and James fires one toward the net and knocked down by the here's Cam with it. Tyson tries to flip it over to his
what it is, and that's what I can hear something. My mom goes, she goes, if I turn it up to like 48, I can kind of hear him in the background.
Really?
Yeah, okay. And I just did that on mine, and I can hear the back, but I can't hear him.
All right.
Okay.
I just tried
Actually, now it's loud. Go ahead, talk.
Yeah. Now can you hear it? How about now? Yeah? Test.
Well, it had a 6-second delay.
Oh, is that right? Oh, wow. All right. Well, we're playing with the audio here. I understand I may not be coming in terribly clear. I tried doing some adjustments to the audio, and hopefully somebody's hearing me out there. All right, about to get underway here with the third period. Teams have switched sides. Storm going right to left now, leading 4-0. A loose puck picked up by Jackson and knocked into the zone, but kept in by Colin Moose as he sends it back down. This one almost comes out, but kept in by Griffin. Stretch pass out to Northfield. They're going to fire one from outside, but that's easily steered away by George. And another one fired at George, but he is right on that one to cover it and preserve the shutout here. Here's the face-off in the Raider zone. Comes back to Cam. There's a shot from the outside and bouncing puck, but George able to control that one. Still kept in the zone by the Raiders here. And there is a shot fired, but that's high and over the net. Loose puck picked up by Colin O'Day. He sends it out to Archie. Archie cross the. Oh, and that one goes in. Archie, actually, Archie's going to get credit for that goal there. He actually was trying to just maneuver the puck in, and puck got away from him, but it slid right underneath the goalie's pad. And that will now make it 5-0 in favor of the Storm here as the official goes down. There's one sent toward the net by Beck, but knocked down and picked up by Northfield. They'll send it down where Griffin will retrieve it. Out to Ben Score. Otto. Otto with it again. He skates it low circle now out to Colin Moose. Colin tries to go cross ice, but that's off of a Northfield player. He managed to retrieve the puck anyway. Otto now sends it right into Will Marsh. Will gets it tangled up in his feet. He sends it back toward the crease and intercepted by Northfield and sent down. That'll be played by George. Now Jackson picks up the loose puck, sends it down. That'll be an icing. Will Marsh on the face-off. It's tied up, and then eventually James comes away with it. James outlets to Colin Moose. Colin over to Will Marsh. Will back to Colin, and Colin puts it in. Nice job between Will Marsh and Colin Moose as Colin Moose goes 5-hole and makes it 6-0 in favor of the Storm. Will Marsh with the assist. And the loose puck comes to James Meyer. James and over to Colin. Colin back to George. George tried to send it back to Cam, but came out of the zone. Knocked back in though. Now here's Archie with it. Northfield into the zone. Oh, there's one sent toward the net, and George got a pad on that one, able to keep that out. Now Archie skates this in. Sends it across, but just beyond Colin's stick. Sends it cross ice over to Griffin. Griffin brings it across. He fires one toward the net, but that's deflected high. Kept in by Beck. Now we're going to have a penalty call here. Believe that's going to be on the Storm as Ben Score is going to get called for the roughing. So Northfield on the power play here. with 9:28 left in this game. Another shot on goal, and now even it up somewhat. Oh, there was a shot redirected that actually beat George, but it was a little wide. This one chipped in by Tyson. Tyson still has control. Sends it back out to Cam. Cam keeps it in the zone, sends it down to Otto. Storm did a good job of killing off this penalty there. Northfield is getting a change of players in. Now this is picked up by James Meyer. James is going to send this one toward the net. Will Marsh fires one down in. Colin moves, skates it all the way down, comes around for Will Marsh. He's going to send it back the other way. Penalty is now over to the Storm, so Storm back at full strength. Northfield gets in, but Beck does a good job to prevent a shot. There's a deflected shot now. Griffin now has the loose puck. He's going to reverse it around and send it the other way. Loose puck picked up by Will Marsh. Will skates it in. He's got Jackson over there, but Jackson was on his backhand and wasn't able to control it. Now here's Colin Moose, still has it around the circle. He flips it over to Cam. Cam fires one, that's deflected high. Comes over to Beck. Comes out of the zone where Cam has to pick it up. He's going to leave it for Colin Moose. Offsides on the Storm as that one popped out of the zone and back in. So face off right down front here. Holland knocks that into the zone. Puck picked up by George Lego. George skates it in. He's going to leave it for Archie. Archie fires it, but that was high. Now sent in by Cam Adair. Just over 5 minutes left in this one. Now here's Northfield with an opportunity here as they get in, but that one is knocked down by George as he saves another one. James Meyer tries to send it toward the net, but just knocked away. Sent toward the net where George steers it away. Griffin outlets to Otto. Otto sends it over to Tyson. Tyson tries to get it back to Otto, but Otto couldn't get a stick on that one, and back comes Northfield. Northfield backhands one toward the net. Kicked away by George. Sent back over to Will Marsh, and Will puts it in. Nice job by Will to maintain control there, and he was all alone in front of the net and was able to put it in. So that's Will Marsh's second goal of the game, I believe, to go along with an assist. Looks like Northfield is going to call a timeout here with 3:32 left in this third period. Storm now leading 7-0. It's going to be a quick turnaround for the Storm as they're back on the ice tomorrow morning at 8:30. We will be at the St. Olaf Ice Arena, St. Olaf College Ice Arena tomorrow, which is a little closer in town, in the town of Northfield. But for those of you not familiar with the Minnesota area, so Northfield is a town about 35 or 40 miles or so south of Minneapolis. So it's a bit of a drive to get down here, and Storm will be heading back late after this one and then have to be back here at the rink by 7:30 tomorrow morning. Like we're going to have another penalty or penalties called. I'm not sure which. Okay, they're going to call that one on Northfield as number 21 got a little bit heated and sent his stick toward the glass and slammed it against the glass, and I think that's what he's calling him for. So be a power play opportunity for the Storm here with just under 3 minutes left in this one. All right, so it looks like they're going to put 2 in the box here. And so I suspect they are calling a major, 5-minute major on number 21, and then they have another player serving out the 2-minute penalty. This one comes to back at the point. He's going to just send it into the corner. Picked out of there by Will Marsh briefly. Now he's got it. He skates it into the slot. Gets it again and fires another one. That's knocked down by the goalie. A loose puck picked up by Northfield. Nice job getting that out of there, but now this is poke checked off of his stick. And Will Marshall lift it back in. Picked up by Northfield. Nice job by back to get in front of his man and prevent a shot. And Jackson shovels this in, but that's going to be an icing call as We have a running clock here with a 7-goal lead, so just about a minute 30 left in this one. Here's a face-off. Colin wins it out to Cam. Archie with a loose puck. Loose one picked up by Colin. He's going to just send it down. Intercepted by Northfield, and back they come. One minute left in this one. Here's Cam with it. Cam shovels it out, comes to Colin. Colin's going to send it toward the net, but nothing doing there. Well, a loose puck to Cam. Cam over to Archie. And this one is knocked out of play, but that'll pretty much do it, as we only have 25 seconds left in this one, and players are getting a line change in here, so I suspect this will be almost over by the time they drop the puck. 10 seconds left here. And that will do it. So Storm will come away with the 7-0 win here, as George T1 Ortiz gets the shutout. I believe that is his second shutout of the year. And Storm 7 goals on 33 shots. Northfield no goals on 14 shots. So as I mentioned, Storm will be back in action tomorrow morning against North Shore, a team from the Duluth area. And we will be back on the air right around 8:30 or so tomorrow morning. And hope you can join us then. Until then, good night.